Good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming. I am Janet Johnson, and I'm just thrilled that you are here to learn more about video, and we have our Amplified team here. We will have a great question and answer at the very end, so welcome again, and thank you for taking the time to spend this afternoon with us.
Awesome, thank you. Well, like Janet said, super excited that you guys are here today. We're hoping to share some really great information with you guys that you can take away right after this to be able to make improvements to your marketing strategy, utilizing video and a couple of other pieces. So we'll start off here with giving a little bit of an overview of who we are and what we do. So you guys may know the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier is owned by Lee Enterprises. Lee Enterprises also owns a number of other newspapers as well as Amplified Digital. So everything is in-house here. We can do a lot of different things without having to outsource things. You'll see a number of different options of things that we can offer, just kind of the tip of the iceberg of some things that we can do, but really focusing here on the digital side of things and how we can benefit or help you in your business. So quick intro here. My name is Lily Hoondorf. I live here in Iowa. Before COVID hit, I actually worked out west. So I've worked kind of throughout the country in different areas, which has been really beneficial because I've seen different businesses in different areas and know what's worked and also what hasn't. So what I really love is being able to meet with different businesses and share some of those success stories so you don't have to be the guinea pig. You can see what's worked well and also what hasn't in other markets in other areas. So been with the company about 10 years now, and again, have gotten exposure all over, but really excited to meet with you guys today and hopefully help you guys with some marketing strategies. So Nick, you're up.
Awesome. Thanks, Lily. So Nick Mohammed here. I am the Senior Manager for Strategic Video Sales. Just joined Lee about a year ago, and kind of why am I here to talk to you guys about video? So I was really kind of born and got my start in the industry with video. I worked for Comcast, which, as you may or may not know, sells cable video and video, obviously advertising as well. I've worked for other media companies like Spectrum in Michigan, in Texas, and I've kind of been all around the map. And my role right now with Lee helps support all of our 66 markets in their strategic video sales. So that's really helping guide both, how do we bring recommendations to our clients, what's happening from a capabilities perspective, and making sure that we're staying on the cutting edge for video. So as you've seen, we're going to talk to you about telling your story with video, and that's going to be focused on my favorite superhero, which is video. Obviously, it's what I'm passionate about. It's something I've kind of carved my niche into. And, before we talk more about the distribution and all the different areas you can put video, I figured we'd start with some fun statistics, because everybody's like statistics here. You can see that there are two of them that I like probably the most on here are the first and the last. So I won't read all of them for you, but the last one here says, including video on a landing page can boost your conversions by up to 80%. Right? So a lot of you are marketers, some of you are business owners, and what are we here to do? And why are we in business? It's to increase our customers, to boost conversions, and get people to actually transact with us, right? So video is a critical element that right away, starting to include it in your media mix can help you accomplish those goals. The other one that I like is on YouTube. There are over 1 billion hours of video played on YouTube each day. So 30 billion in a month. It's a lot of video, right? Chances are some of your customers may or may not be spending time on YouTube as well. So how do we craft strategies? How do we put together campaigns that help you tell your story and use video to get in front of those consumers? So if we distill marketing down, what is marketing? Marketing essentially is having a conversation or communicating to your best customer. And I love this slide because it makes kind of the marketing 101 very, very simple. And it's people remember 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, and 70% of what they see and hear. So you guys are hearing me and seeing this on the board as well. I'm hopeful you all will remember 70% of what we talk about today. But that's the power inherently that video has, right? So when we're communicating with our best customers, we want them to A, remember who are we? What is our brand? And also, what are we here to say? What do we stand for? And what is that message? That's video's advantage over a lot of other media vehicles inherently. It's that people are going to remember more of what you said. So if you take one thing away, one thing on your notes for today, it's going to be video gives you that advantage. So our next slide here is going to talk about a little bit of creative. We're not going to go super deep into what do we put into a video? What kind of elements do you need to include? Because candidly, that's a pretty customized conversation. That's very personal. And we actually want to start with the end in mind with things like that. We don't want to say, always talk about this message. That's going to be dependent on what your objective is with that video. Do you want more website visits? Do you want to let people know about a new service that you're offering? All of those different objectives are going to guide you and probably dictate different creative. But there's one piece that I think we can share with you all that is important that you can apply universally, okay? And that is tell the story your customers want to hear, not the one you want to tell. And I do have a story about telling your customer story. So we were sitting down with one of our clients. They're a tire shop. And he said, Nick, I want to put together a video. I'm going to start doing video. You finally convinced me. And he said, I want to put together a video celebrating that we've been in business for 70 years. I said, wow, that's amazing. First of all, congratulations. That is an impressive feat. And I said, how long are you going to be able to run that? He's like, obviously till the end of the year, right? I said, great. Well, what are you going to say next year then with your video? And he kind of sat there and it made him think. And I asked him that question because there is going to be a portion of the audience that sees that video and says, wow, in business for 70 years, they must be doing something right. I probably should go to them. But there are other ways that consumers are probably making those decisions to go to that tire place. One thing he talked about was, we have a new app. This new app tracks your progress as they're working on your vehicle. So how many of you have maybe ever dropped your car off to get new tires and you're wondering, hey, is my car done? It's been 6 hours. What's going on here, right? And you call them, they say, oh yeah, it's done. Come pick it up. It's definitely happened to me. Well, this app takes that question out of it. You're going to know exactly when your car is done and when you can come pick it up. They've also got a huge selection of premium tires, a larger selection than a lot of their competitors have. That's a keen advantage as well. Maybe they've got a great snow tire, because I'm from Indiana, and snow tires are key for us as well. I'm sure it is out here as well in Iowa. And so that's where people are looking come that season. It's a great reason for people to come to you if you've got a unique snow tire that's going to do well, perform well, and be better for gas mileage, etc. I said those are the types of things we're going to want to include in a video for future. It's okay to tell your story. That's a story you want to tell, and there's certainly a place for that. However, when you speak to your customers, when you put yourself in their position, why am I going to buy from you? Answer that question. That's the content that you should be producing. Along that content that you should be producing, right? And he wanted to do one video. I gave a suggestion for a couple others. Here are 5 videos that we believe every business needs in some capacity. Maybe not all at once. It doesn't mean you need to go out tomorrow and go produce 5 new ones, but start working your way through these. So I'll talk through each of them individually here. The first one's branding. We see these all the time. These are the McDonald's ads. These are the Nike Just Do It ads that we see. What are they? They introduce yourself, they tell your story, talk about your brand. These are pretty self-explanatory, right? The next one, we don't see enough of these, in my opinion. These are called explainer videos. These are how-to videos. These types of videos might replace hard-to-read instructions. If you've got a very complicated sell, if you've got a very complicated service that's intricate and requires attention to detail to explain it, video is a great way to do that. Don't send somebody to a landing page and say, here's when you know you need to, put in this irrigation system or a sump pump or this or that. I say that now because it's raining a lot, and I have a sump pump, and I really don't know anything about it. So that's a great case for an explainer video. The next one is a promotional video. Again, this, like the branding, these are ones we're pretty familiar with. These are, come to our location for 50% off today. That is our Black Friday sales event, save X percent, right? They boost awareness to a new solution, and they drive awareness to a promotion. You may be doing these already, but we certainly can recognize these when they happen. The next one, this one's my favorite, okay? So if we're gonna take notes on another one, it's gonna be this one, the expert video. This one is probably underutilized as well. Some use cases are testimonials, right? So letting someone else tell your story for you. Why am I so great? What kind of service can you expect? They discuss industry topics. So when you discuss an industry topic, explain and give solutions. What happens when you give the answer to someone that's someone's befuddled about, right? I'll give an example of this. So I had a stop up in my kitchen sink. And much like a sump pump, plumbing is not my expertise. Video is my expertise, so to speak. And so I didn't know what to do. What do we do when we don't know how to solve something or something pops up? We Google it, right? That's what I did. And how do I solve a stop up in my kitchen sink? Guess what came up? A video from a local plumber with step-by-step instructions on how to get rid of it. How informative, how helpful. Thank you, Four Seasons Heating and Cooling, because guess what? I followed the video and it fixed it. What did that do for me? Their brand in my mind is like they are the expert. They can fix anything. So if my sump pump does fail and I have water in my basement, something that probably a YouTube video would not solve, I'm gonna call them, right? Because guess what? Nobody in this room would probably want to work with the 21st best realtor when you're selling your home. Nobody wants to call the 30th best HVAC company in the market. Who do you want to call? Who do you want to work with? The expert, the best, the person who you know is going to get it done and get it done right. Put together video and content that positions you in that light. The last one here is really kind of growing just from what's happening in the industry. Okay, these are internal videos, training videos, employee onboarding videos. So why are these becoming more popular? Well, they're becoming more popular because, well, people are changing jobs at a pretty frequent rate right now. So what is that? It's an opportunity for two things. It's an opportunity, first of all, to onboard these people and share your culture. You've got new people into your organization. Let them know what you stand for. What are your goals? Why are we moving forward in this direction? When you share those pieces with people, what does that do? It brings them aligned. Now everybody is marching in the same direction, and everyone's going to achieve the same goal that you're out to set, right? The other piece is it shares an opportunity for prospective employees to get a preview on what they can expect. Here's why you should come join our business. Here's why you should fill this, open position we've got. We're a growing company. We're bringing new opportunities to the marketplace. There's a lot of reasons that people are changing jobs right now, and a lot of that has to do with people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. So another really good opportunity that's probably arising more than it ever has in previous years. So as we've talked, now we've got some ideas for what kind of content you can do. Think like a customer. You've got 5 different videos. All right, now what do I do with this? Well, first of all, you want to make sure that your video strategy is not just seamless and consistent across all video platforms. You want to make sure it's the same across all platforms in general. Meaning, You don't want to be putting out videos and promoting a certain service while your billboard is doing something else, while your direct mail is doing something else. You want to make sure everything is working together, right? So that's start number one. Focus on offering solutions, right? We talked about that. What is the content that's going to provide the why and the reason for a customer to do business with you, and prioritize that over any other factor. So now we've got all these videos, we've got a seamless strategy, we know how we're going to market. Where do we put it? Well, we'd be here until probably 9 p.m. if I were to go into detail for every single avenue and outlet that you can take a video. If anybody wants to stay that long, I'd be happy to talk to them about that. No, okay, all right, 8:30. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the key things that are happening in each of these platforms, why maybe you should consider it, and obviously after this event, we can set time aside and go deeper into each of these. But a couple that jump out, two of these that we could probably group together are connected TV /OTT /Amazon streaming TV / I'm out of abbreviations for you. That's the new buzzword. That's what's happening now in the landscape. What is this? Streaming. People are watching OTT. People are watching CTV. And we'll talk a little bit about what that is, but essentially it's anytime people are watching a television non-traditionally. And non-traditionally, it's basically through the cable and also through a satellite dish, right? So those are two traditional ways that you can access TV. And essentially, what these other streaming outlets are is connected to the internet. And it can get very, very confusing because now you've got devices, you've got streaming services, you've got people like us talking about it. The whole OTT landscape can be very confusing. But we've got experts that can help you sort it out, put together a strategy, and make sure that the audience you're trying to reach is the one that your video is landing in front of. YouTube ads, we talked about that as well. How many of you have watched on YouTube or have kids? I've got 2 young kids. I feel like they watch YouTube. They may be like 1 million of the billion hours that watch it. It's crazy. But YouTube's a very big platform, certainly a place from a marketing perspective, great time to reach your customers. And then social video and programmatic audio. You might be like, why is audio on there? Well, programmatic audio does have placements where you can use video as well, but we could talk more about that. So on the social beam, we talked about making sure that your messaging aligns with what customers want to hear. The other piece is make sure you're delivering video when customers want to watch it. So here's a poll that was done from social media users, and it asked the question, what do you want to see when you're scrolling through your feed on social media? Overwhelmingly, number one, 81% says video, right? So give the people what they want. It's kind of what I like to say here. What the people want is video on social. They don't want, not to say they don't want it, but they prefer that type of message. Right? Next are images. So puppy dogs and babies and things like that are great. Text posts, stories, quizzes, and lives. The live aspect, sometimes you may be confused. It kind of sounds like video, right? Feels like video, but those are two totally different strategies. Having a live strategy and having a video distribution are two completely different avenues. So here's more about this streaming word that you're hearing a lot of. Why should we consider it? Why is it the buzzword right now? I think this graph really sums it up perfectly. And here's why. Here's what this graph is really telling us. Traditional television viewers, people who are watching it through that method, are declining. And they're declining relatively fast. We hear the cutting the cord is happening, and even the cable providers will acknowledge that, and they'll say, yes, people are trimming the cord. Conversely, the question has to be asked after that is, well, where are they going? Well, they're going, watching TV still. They're not giving up video. In fact, people are watching more video now than they ever have. The reality is they're just accessing it in a different way. And that's where the streaming TV space is growing so much. Now, this graph that you see was done from 2019. What we're seeing is actually this inflection point that looks like is about to touch is very, very close right now. And in fact, it may reach that crosshairs before next year. So why is this important? Why are we talking about this right now? As marketers, if you have a strategy in place right now that uses traditional television, cable, broadcast, etc., if you have those things in place, they're reaching less people. So you need to supplement that in order for it to have the same impact that you had. And how do you do that? You craft together a great streaming, I guess you could say, strategy to reach those customers. So it wouldn't be a full conversation on streaming if we didn't mention one of our awesome partners in Amazon. Amazon, as you know, how many are Amazon customers in here? Pretty much everybody, right? I pretty much buy everything I own from Amazon at this point. So the unique thing about Amazon, the thing that I love the most about it, is the data. Lily's going to talk more in depth about data. She's much smarter and better with data than I am. But Amazon's got amazing data. It's been around as a retail space for 30 plus years. And what does it do? It takes all those transactions that you have linked to you, and it uses that to help inform us now from an advertising perspective. Let's put that into practice really quick. I own a dog, and I buy all my dog food through Amazon. Would it make much sense then if I got buying all this dog food, if I got kitty litter ads for me? No, right? But when they give me very expensive dog toys, here's a dog toothbrush. I don't know who brushes their dog's teeth. It's crazy to me. I could never do that. I'm sure he needs it. But they're complement goods that make perfect sense for me. Knowing that I'm buying dog food, giving me a dog toothbrush is probably a good idea. I probably should invest in that. But that's the type of marketing we're looking for. That's what quality data brings you. It brings you a great opportunity to present your best customer with your solution, service, or a complement good. So you might ask, well, where are these ads going to run? How are people going to see them? What you see on the screen here are 4 different placements that Amazon has as proprietary to them. They have IMDb. I always say that wrong. So that is their streaming service, free content, ad supported. You can get ads in front of consumers when they're watching there. The next is Twitch. I'll be honest with you. I'll say my name, or I'll say my age. I'm 32 years old, and I wasn't really that familiar with Twitch. And so I'm kind of like, well, what is this space? It is incredible for reaching people between 18 and 24. We have a lot of really great higher ed, people who want to reach audiences in that age range, which is very hard to do, very hard to reach those folks, see tremendous success on this platform. And essentially what it is it's streaming gamers. And you get an opportunity to align your brand with a very engaged audience watching people play games, review content, review things that are on IMDb. So that's what that space is if you're not familiar. They also have a news channel. It's 24 hours. It's really good. It's local as well. They see a lot of viewership, and it continues to increase there. And then they've got a publishing services that lets them extend to people outside of their Amazon subscribers. So it's a really powerful platform, great data, and we'd be remiss if we didn't speak about it. So I'm going to pass the mic here to Lily. She's going to talk a little bit about video on local news sites.
Awesome, thank you. So you guys are all familiar with the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier website. Jumping off what Nick was talking about with data, we have an incredible amount of data to be able to target people in the local area reading local news, utilizing targeted placements and video. So this example that's up here will show you what we call a reveal ad. Takes up about 1/3 of the screen. And what I love about this is that 1/3 of that ad is going to play video side by side with a static image. So this is a really unique placement because you can include both video and a static call to action at the same time. Plus, these can be targeted to whoever your audience is. So again, we're really focusing on incorporating different placements, but focusing on who your audience is to make sure that we're reaching the right people at the right time to be more strategic with the ads that you're serving and utilize video. And so what we're going to do next is show you guys a couple of different examples of video placements that are available and kind of talk through each of them after we watch them to describe some different pieces that we noticed and ways to incorporate video in your business. So the first couple are going to be local businesses here that we've worked with.
Open an account that moves as quickly as you do at Community Bank and Trust. Our Go checking accounts deliver the ultimate digital experience with 3% APY. Switch your auto debits and bills over to your new CBT account with ClickSwitch. Trust that your account is always secure with Touch ID, verification codes, and access to your funds 24/7. Open an account online today. Visit communitybt.bank to learn more.
So this is what we call our quick vid. It's a really quick turnaround, low entry point to get something started. Works really, really well when you want to switch out your video on a regular basis to not waste your video production dollars on the video production and more on reaching who your audience is. So really quick turnaround, really great entry point to be able to get a video like that produced, whether it's with stock photography and stock image or stock video or local photography and local video. Really great way to get that turned around. This next one here is another local video of another brand that I'm sure you guys will recognize.
Join the community. Enjoy life at New Aldea Lifescapes, Cedar Falls' premier senior living destination. We provide a range of residential living solutions from spacious homes and lofts to assisted living, nursing care, and memory care. We look forward to meeting you and welcoming you to our family. New friends, new home, new outlook. Welcome to New Aldea Lifescapes.
So what I like about this one is it's really positive and shows what the community looks like, shows the people actually living in the environment and giving kind of that real-time walkthrough as well. This next one here is a national video that you guys that we've done, and I'm sure you guys will recognize the brand here.
These days, we're spending more time than ever before at home, where the perfect pendant can spotlight your newfound skills in the kitchen, where the right chandelier takes daily dinner from basic to brilliant, and where your decorating choices are all of a sudden illuminated. At Patriot Lighting, we know that these days, time with family is a special occasion, and there's no better inspiration for making your home your own. The perfect wall mounting can lift your spirits with a simple switch. And that once hidden path to your front door is now illuminated with intrigue to lead them inside. With Patriot Lighting, your lighting becomes a reflection of your personal style. Modern, sleek, bold, radiant, whatever your pleasure. Your lighting is another way to put your style on display. That's why we have hundreds of options to make your home and your world shine a little brighter. Find your style with Patriot Lighting, only at Menards.
So something a little bit different about this video, it was definitely longer than the other two if you noticed. The reason being is because it's also important to have long form video. This is going to be really valuable for placements on your website, building out content on your YouTube channel, which I'm going to add a little caveat is super, super important. Any videos, please upload to your YouTube channel because it will help increase your SEO since YouTube is owned by Google. Very free, quick and easy tip, just upload those videos to your YouTube channel. Another piece that I like about this video is it actually was a shoppable video, which what that means is as people are watching this, when they hover their mouse over certain lighting fixtures, they can actually click on that exact lighting fixture, go to the landing page to actually purchase that item as well, and be able to track all the conversions from that. So there's a lot of different things that we can do with video to be really powerful and engage with people in different ways. And one last video that I'll show here has really different energy that I think you guys will enjoy.
Only time of year the reindeer fly. You can't see them on their sleigh ride across the sky. Gather all your family round, or go out and paint the town. It's the only time of year the whole wide world turns upside down. So baby, light a fire and we'll toast the night away, because Christmas is coming our way.
I don't know about you, but I feel like dancing and shopping after seeing that video. Definitely has really great energy and kind of portrays the area in a different way. Another thing that I love about this is it utilizes drone footage in a way that most people don't expect. A lot of people think aerial footage and just looking down as a bird's eye view, but this really brings a different perspective, brings some different energy to the environment.
Awesome. Thanks, Lily. Yeah, I feel like the rest of our show should just be us dancing up here after that, right? Really great quality. So we've talked, again, a lot about different video aspects, whether it be creative, whether it be outlets you can put it on, some ideas for creative, different ideas for videos. Now we're going to get a little bit more tactical and give you some suggestions on how you build that strategy yourself. And it starts by reaching a relevant audience based on a number of factors, whether that be content, the channels that they're on, the demographics of your audience, their interest, lifestyle, whether they're in or out of a market for something. And we start with this really for one reason. Lily's going to talk about what we call an omni-channel solution, and I also call it another word. I call it audience-based selling or audience-based strategy. And the reality is, we don't sell ads on YouTube. We're not going to sell you ads on OTT. Here's what we're going to bring to the table. We want to bring you an audience, and we deliver audiences. So it doesn't matter if someone is spending or seeing an ad on their mobile device. It doesn't matter if someone's doing what we call the lean back experience and watching on TV, or the lean in experience on a tablet. What matters most is, does the person on the other side of that screen, is that your best customer? Do they have the capability, and are they qualified to be your customer? And is that the best person that we could possibly deliver that message to? Those are the things that we think about. Those are the ways that we kind of our cornerstone for the strategies that we build out. So, when we sit down with you and we put together these strategies, we want to come with a pen and paper first. We want to ask you questions. We want to get to know, who is your best customer? Where do they live? What is your best, what is the best high-end strategy that you can bring in as a customer? Who is doing the most frequent shopping with you? We want to put together different strategies for each of those customer lines. So Lily's going to talk more about that and kind of how we build that out.
Awesome, thank you. So we'll talk a little bit about omni-channel marketing, and let me just tell you what omni-channel marketing is. So the best way I can explain it is, think about you as a consumer. Maybe you see a bunch of advertising from a certain business. You receive a piece of direct mail from them in your mailbox. Then the next day you get an email in your email inbox. You're seeing them when you're looking at recipes, reading the news, whatever, and you're like, man, what is their marketing budget? They must spend a ton of money. The thing is, they're probably not spending as much as you think, at least. The reason being is because they're spending their marketing dollars on you specifically as their ideal customer, and not on everybody. So here's a way that this looks. The multi-channel approach is what we typically used to do of, don't put all of your eggs in one basket, spread out your eggs and put them in different baskets. Well, that's great 20 years ago when you only had 3 baskets, when it was TV, billboards, and radio. But now it's changed a lot. So it's really important to understand more of who your customer is and less about what platforms you're serving them to, because there's going to be so many different platforms. It's so fragmented. So now we're focusing on, rather than the platform, let's focus on the person, that ideal audience for you. So understanding, okay, how many touch points can we have with that specific person, that ideal customer, and make sure that we're really pulling them down the marketing funnel until they convert to a customer, a repeat customer, whatever that might look like. So a way we can utilize this is going to be through data. So we've talked about this a little bit, but I really want to dig a little bit deeper and take a look behind the curtain of what this means. So there's first-party data. This is super, super valuable data. For you, this is going to be anybody in your database, whether you have their email address, their phone number, their physical address, whatever it is, that is your first-party data. That's more important than ever. So if you don't already have a database of your customers, I definitely recommend you start building that up. The other side of it is third-party data. So this is data we can get based on places people have visited, search behaviors, shopping behaviors, credit card payments, things like that, being able to target people. So it's really valuable to pair both the first-party and third-party data together because we can find your ideal customers and then go find lookalike audiences that look similar to your ideal customer and bring them in the door as well. Another piece that's really important to highlight is optimizing your campaigns and really understanding the analytics behind what's running so that we can make sure we are reaching the right people and reaching them in the most effective way possible. So if you're not currently getting analytics or reporting from whoever your vendor is, please, please, please ask for that. This should be something that you look at least a monthly basis to be able to see what's working, what's not, what needs to be optimized, and how to continue to improve that. One thing I always tell people is, I'm sure we've all heard, impressions are good, clicks are good, okay, great. But what's even better than impressions and clicks is going to be conversions. The best part about conversions is that you get to choose what you consider to be a conversion. Maybe it's foot traffic. You want to measure how many people actually step foot inside your store. Maybe it's online job applications submitted, phone calls that people called you and spoke on the phone for 60 seconds or longer. Whatever it is, it's really important that you let us know so that we can optimize your campaign toward whatever your conversions are. So for example, if we're trying to drive foot traffic into your store, that's very different than trying to encourage somebody to fill out a form or give you a phone call. So we would optimize the campaign in different ways. And then we can track that for you. So we can say, okay, this tactic is generating this many conversions. We can measure as many conversions as you want. So taking a look and really understanding your analytics is important. Another piece about this that I think is important is understanding the data. So, for example, if you own a furniture store, you're probably the expert in couches, in beds, in furniture. You might not necessarily know what's good and what's bad for analytics. So understanding what that is really important, and that's where we come to the table. So a couple ways that I always tell people to look at their analytics. Number one, let's compare to national averages. What's your click-through rate? What's your conversion rate? How does that compare to national averages? Next step, how do we compare to industry averages? So if you own an HVAC company, let's compare to other HVAC companies across the country, across the Midwest, whatever that looks like. The third piece I recommend is let's take a look at what your results have been previous months. Let's make sure that you're continuing to grow, continuing to get more improvements as your campaign goes on, because there's different things that we can do to make sure that it is. Maybe it's a creative change. Maybe the audience has shifted and that needs to change who the audience targets are. There's a lot of different pieces that go into it, and so it's important to not just set your campaign and forget it. It's important to continue to optimize it and take a look at that. So you guys all know, I'm sure this is what your day-to-day life looks like. You have a million different reps. You've got a TV rep, a radio rep, an outdoor rep. You've got your rep from the courier. So many people are calling on you and wanting to do business with you. Plus, now there are so many fragmented ways to do marketing, it can be really overwhelming. So my recommendation is pick one. Obviously, we'd love for you to pick us, but let me explain the reason why it's important to pick one. So let's say there's a change or an optimization. I'm pretty sure your radio rep is not calling up your newspaper rep or TV rep and saying, hey, we noticed this area of optimization. You should change up your creative or change up your strategy to optimize the campaign. Probably not happening. An example of this, we are a full service agency for a healthcare group in the Midwest. And right before COVID hit, we saw in their Google ads, there was a huge search increase for flu-like symptoms. So we all know what that is now, but at the time we didn't. So because we were managing all of their campaigns, we saw a huge increase in searches for these flu-like symptoms. We changed up all of their marketing, so their billboards, their display ads, their Google ads, social ads, you name it, to reflect being a service for those that are experiencing flu-like symptoms. When we came to find out it was COVID, they were ahead of the game and they looked like the expert because they were already ahead of it. They knew what was happening. They were a resource in the community. So it built that expertise, not only then, but then moving forward. It changed the perception in the area, people knowing that they're ahead of the game and knowing what's going on. So we're able to identify those pieces, those areas of optimization, things like that. If there's one vendor that's managing everything, one makes your life easier for strategy, for creative, and making sure that the creative is cohesive across the board, but also the strategy, ways to optimize campaigns, things like that. So the big takeaways that we really wanted to hit home here are really video delivers the most amount of information with the highest retention rate. People remember it when they see it, when they hear it, they experience it. So it's really important to make sure you're incorporating video into your marketing strategy in one way or another. Important to focus more on the audience and who it is you're trying to reach rather than the platform and the placements of that. Let's focus on who it is, where they engage with that media so that we can make sure we're speaking to them in the right place. Number one, it's going to be more efficient and more effective with your marketing dollars. And number two, it's going to resonate more with your customers. It's important to have more than one video. Not only having, a new video every quarter or every couple months, whatever that looks like, but for the different goals of your business, for the different goals of your customers, whatever it is that they might be looking for. And also create different content for different mediums. So like what we talked about, there's longer form content that's great for your website as resources, for content to build out on your YouTube channel, but it's also important to have shorter video snippets for some of those ad placements. Really, that 15 to 30 second range is gonna be that ideal length for ad spots to capture people's attention. But it's gonna be different on every placement, so it's important to have different snips. If you do a long form video, like that Menards video we looked at, they could take several snips from that video for different placements, but then also use it for that long form piece as well. So hopefully you guys were able to learn a little bit of information today. Wanted to give you our information here, but the best part is that you have local contacts that you can reach out to every single day with any questions. We're all one big team, so we work together on a regular basis. So hopefully you recognize somebody up there. If not, let us know and we can definitely sync you up with somebody. But wanted to open it up for any questions you guys have. This is your time to drill us with anything hard, easy, whatever you'd like. There is a microphone in the back, so everybody can hear your question, but we're definitely open for whatever you've got.
So something that I know a lot of people have been struggling with lately is employment. So is there a space for recruitment in video? Does it work? What's the message? Can we talk a little bit more about that? Because I know it's a hot topic right now.
Yes, that's definitely a hot topic. So it's going to depend. There's not an easy answer. It's going to depend on the job position. If we're looking at an entry-level position, if we're looking at a C-level executive, it's very different what types of platforms, what types of messaging. But video has been really, really powerful. We've also seen, I don't know what the reasoning is, but with certain audiences, for example, delivering ads that are in Spanish have served or delivered very, very well on YouTube. That's been a really strong audience for that particular, or really strong platform for that particular audience. But there's different things like that if we know, okay, we're trying to reach this specific person or this type of audience, we can go back, pull a bunch of market research and data and understand, okay, here's the person, here's their kind of consumer profile that we're looking at, here's what types of platforms they engage with the most, here's the best way to reach them.
Yeah, I might even add on to that as well. So kind of practicing what we preach here. One of my favorite books was Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Has anyone read that in the room? Yeah, a couple people, great. So habit number 2, if you recall, is start with the end in mind. He has a really great anecdote on it where it kind of a life philosophy on how to shape and start and make sure you accomplish your goals. I translate that to marketing as well, where if it's recruiting you're trying to accomplish, we start with the questions. It's who is the person that you believe would be the best candidate for that position? Is it entry level, like Lily said? Are we trying to reach people who are in high school, filling kind of a minimum wage job? Do they have certain attributes about them that we can tap into? Maybe they are getting certain trade qualifications, maybe laborers, or maybe they're joining a union and you're a union construction company, or there are other qualifiers that you can tap into. We can use that sort of data to then layer over, hey, if we know they're studying marketing, maybe perhaps, at a local community college. Maybe we can put geo-fences in these locations, serve ads about an open opportunity, and get that into prospective students. Now you can apply that in a lot of different ways, but it's all about, again, the audience-based strategy. It starts there. Who is that person? Who is that person that's going to buy from me? Who is this person that's going to fill this role? What kind of attributes can I pull out of that? It's a great question.
Yeah, we've got another one.
I got a question. I'm going to lead the witness a little bit, though. We're in a DMA that's pretty large, right? The Cedar Valley is part of a DMA that includes Dubuque, includes Cedar Rapids, you might even argue down into Iowa City. I saw some stats up there about the Cedar Valley specifically and why it's so important to hone in on this market, right? To segment it from the DMA. Can you give us a little bit of data points on that?
Yeah, great question. And we can hop back to that slide here in a minute too. But what's really interesting to see is we can share all the national numbers, but when we actually bring it home, we're seeing the Cedar Valley running ahead of national numbers. So we're seeing the Cedar Valley, or kind of this DMA region, we're seeing more and more people are cutting the cord and streaming more than they are in other areas of the country. So for everybody here, I think that's super, super relevant because you're likely trying to reach more people in this area than you are in California or Texas or wherever. But it's really interesting to see more people streaming and more people going that way. One thing I love about streaming and that opportunity is it's all targeted. So you're not, getting X number of ad spots and saying a prayer that people are watching at that exact time. You're reaching your specific audience and you're guaranteed that they're watching that video. Yeah, great question. If you don't want to stand up, we can also run to you. Get Nick to dance a little.
No, all pretty.
I think we need some more alcohol. You guys, it's back there.
That's right.
It is the afternoon. Let's have some drinks.
That's right. Well, thank you all for your time and attention today. If you've got additional questions, we'll be around here to answer them. And, if you've got problems that maybe we can chat it up, we love doing that. We love having that conversation. What's happening that's unique to your business? How can we maybe bring some ideas? And that's really what we hope out of this. We hope it inspired some ideas that you can take, ways that you can use video, and hopefully you learned a thing or two along the way. So thanks again for everybody for coming, and we hope to see you all real soon.